Hello, I'm Dan Williams, the Media Relations Director for the City of Cleveland, and this is the Bottom Line Upfront. Today I will discuss what everyone should know about Pearl Harbor Day. Did you know, on Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, the American Army and Navy base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, was attacked by the Imperial Japanese Navy. The attack came as a surprise to the American Army and Navy and led to great losses of life and equipment. More than 2,000 American citizens were killed and more than 1,000 were injured. The Americans also lost a large portion of their battleships and nearly 200 aircraft that were stationed in the Pacific region. More than 60 Japanese servicemen were killed, injured, or captured. The Japanese Navy also lost 5 midget submarines and 29 aircraft. The Japanese military had hoped that the attack on Pearl Harbor would prevent the United States of America from increasing her influence in the Pacific. However, the events in Pearl Harbor actually had the reverse effect and led to the escalation of the United States' involvement in World War II. The day after the attack, the United States declared war on Japan and so entered World War II. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in a speech to Congress, stated that the bombing of Pearl Harbor was, and I quote, "a date which will live in infamy." Shortly afterwards, Germany also declared war on the United States. In the months that followed the attack, the slogan, "Remember Pearl Harbor," swept the United States, and radio stations repeatedly played a song of the same name.
We will always remember how they died for liberty. Let's remember Pearl Harbor and go on to victory.
In 1991, which marked the 50th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, the United States Congress established Pearl Harbor Commemorative Medal. This is also known as the Pearl Harbor Survivors Medal and can be awarded to any veteran of the United States military who were present in or around Pearl Harbor during the attack by the Japanese military. The medal can be awarded to civilians who were killed or injured in the attack as well. As for symbols, memorials have been built to remember or to symbolize the day. For example, the USS Arizona Memorial in Pearl Harbor is a marble memorial built over the sunken USS Arizona, which was dedicated in 1962. The memorial remembers all military personnel who were killed in the Pearl Harbor attack. Ironically, the memorial was designed by architect Alfred Preece, an Austrian-born resident who lived in Honolulu and was placed in a detainment camp after Pearl Harbor attack as part of the internment policy of Japanese and German Americans at the time. Another memorial that commemorates Pearl Harbor Day is the USS Utah, a battleship that was attacked and sunk in Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. A memorial to honor the crew of the USS Utah was dedicated on the northwest shore of Ford Island, near the ship's wreckage site in 1972. The ship was added to the National Register of Historical Places and declared a National Historic Landmark in 1989. It is also Utah's official state ship. Memorabilia, books, and movies about the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 have also been made available to the public over the years. The day itself. Although Pearl Harbor Day is not a recognized national holiday, there are some things that can be done in recognition of this very sad day in our nation's history. On the direction of the President, the flag of the United States of America should be displayed on the homes of Americans the White House, and all United States government buildings. The flag should be flown at half-mast to honor those who died in the attack on Pearl Harbor. Many associations, especially those linked with Pearl Harbor survivors or those who died from the attack, participate in special services to commemorate the event. Memorial services are held at venues such as the USS Arizona Memorial in Pearl Harbor. Other activities include wreath-laying ceremonies, keynote speeches by those associated with the event, luncheons, media stories on survivors' recollections of Pearl Harbor attack, and school activities to educate students about the attack on Pearl Harbor in relation to World War II history. What can you do? At the very minimum, each of us should pause to remember those who were attacked and lost their lives 75 years ago on December 7th. The bottom line, it was on a Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, that the American Army and Navy base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, was attacked by the Imperial Japanese Navy. This year marks the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor Day. More than 2,000 American citizens were killed and more than 1,000 were injured that day. Americans also lost a large portion of their battleships and nearly 200 aircraft that were stationed in the Pacific region. Over 60 Japanese servicemen were killed, injured, or captured, and the Japanese lost 5 midget submarines and 29 aircraft. Although not a recognized national holiday, Pearl Harbor Day can and should be remembered by flying an American flag at half-mast or observing a moment of silence. Why should we remember this day? In the words of George Santayana, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. I'm Dan Williams, and this has been The Bottom Line Up Front.